Hey guys, what's going on? It's MJ's Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from mjfitness.au. Awesome Raw Review for the viewers at home today on a comprehensive, stacked up pre-workout from our good friends at Rule 1. It is, of course, Rule 1 preLIFT in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. This nutritional information panel, look at this, guys, absolutely stacked. Ain't gonna get it done, we're about to go balls deep in this here Rule 1 preLIFT. Luckily, big ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen so you guys can play along at home. Starting from the top, serving size 1 scoop, 15 grams. Got yourself about 30 of them 1 scoop, 15 gram bitches in each of these Rule 1 preLIFT bitches. It is a full 1 scoop serve, so it's not one of these like 40 scoops, but you got to take 2 scoops, get the 1 serve. It's 30 scoops, 1 scoop per serve, 30 serves in each and every one of these Rule 1 preLIFT bitches. In terms of what each scoop is made up of, we're talking about 11.57 and a little bit of active ingredients per scoop, spread across 18 active ingredients, and we'll get through those in a second. Interestingly, of those 18 active ingredients, 5 registered trademarked ingredients. It is absolutely packed with some of the purest forms of ingredients that we have seen thus far, viewers at home. 5 of those trademarked ingredients, which means we're dealing with about 83% active ingredients by weight. It varies a little bit depending on the flavor, but let's say over 80% active ingredients by weight, and less than 20% flavors, sweeteners, and colors. In terms of what those active ingredients are made up of, we're going to stack it up against the effects that we look for in a pre-workout supplement, viewers at home. And up until this Raw Review, I've always said that there's 5 main effects that we look for. This is the first Raw Review. We're going to add a 6th effect, which is something that happens from time to time in the supplement game, is we start to get improvements in formulas. We start to get effects that we didn't realize were important, and companies start putting ingredients that elicit those effects. So we're going to go from 5 to 6 effects. What are the 6 effects? Effect number 1. What we're looking for in a pre-workout supplement and complete stimulant base, of course, is going to be energy. Effect number 2, muscle pumps, improved blood flow and nutrient delivery, boosting nitric oxide is effect number 2. Effect number 3, we're talking about muscle power and strength. Effect number 4 has to be muscular endurance. Effect number 5 is our nootropic effect, our mental focus, improvement in mood, elevation in mood, and just general feeling of well-being. And then the 6th and newest effect that we are now starting to see from our pre-workouts is hydration, replacing electrolytes and minerals that we're primarily sweating out when we exercise. Our 6th effect is going to be hydration. Let's see how the Rule 1 preLIFT stacks up against the 6 effects we're looking for in pre-workout. Starting with effect number 1, energy. We're talking about a 4-stage stimulant blend in each and every scoop of the Rule 1 preLIFT. It's a combination of caffeine and hydrous, 235 milligrams, with Infinergy dicaffeine malate, that's one of those registered trademarked ingredients, 100 milligrams. That yields about 70% caffeine. In combination with the Zoom XR delayed release caffeine, that's another registered trademark ingredient, 30 milligrams, in combination with the cocoa extract standardized for 10% theobromine, which is of course related to caffeine and its stimulant effect. Total caffeine across the 4-stage stimulants, 330 milligrams, give or take a milligram in either direction. So it is quite high in terms of total caffeine, but it is spread across 4 different sources of stimulants, and we'll talk about how that plays out when I tell you guys about the effects. So for effect number 1, energy, big tick there, definitely. Effect number 2, muscle pumps, improved blood flow, boosting nitric oxide and improving nutrient delivery work in muscles. We're talking about a 2-ingredient blend here, viewers at home. Big dose of pure L-citrulline. None of that L-citrulline malate in here, viewers at home. Pure L-citrulline, 6,000 milligrams. That's over and above what we would consider a clinical dose, which sits at about 4,000 milligrams. So 50% more, as a matter of fact. That's going to boost nitric oxide through the citrulline, which is a precursor to arginine, which is a precursor to nitric oxide pathway. And that's in combination with a 50 milligram dose of S7, which is a direct nitric oxide boosting proprietary trademarked ingredient, viewers at home. So when it comes to muscle pumps, improved blood flow and enhanced nutrient delivery through boosting nitric oxide, we get a big tick for that effect as well. Moving on to effect number 3, muscle power and strength. Not a whole lot going on in this formula, to be completely honest with you guys. Not a whole lot. There's no creatine, there's no betaine, there's no Elevate TP. Really, there's only one ingredient that kind of even scratches the surface of the muscle strength and power, and that's going to be a cordyceps mushroom in a 75 milligram dose. But that's it. Let's move on to our next effect, muscular endurance. Woo! We stacked 3.2 grams of carnosine registered trademarked beta-alanine. That'd do it just by itself, but it's not it. In combination with a full gram of taurine, which works really synergistically with beta-alanine to boost muscular endurance, also works well with electrolytes. We'll get to those in a second. And then, check this out, 25 milligrams of another registered trademarked ingredient. Is there only 5? I reckon there's like more than 5. Shit, we're just stacking, we're front loading all the registered trademarked ingredients. 25 milligrams of Synactive, which is a registered trademarked ingredient that's really good for boosting endurance as well. The endurance element of this pre-workout is absolutely stacked, viewers at home. If we could give 2 ticks, we'd be given 2 ticks, but we can only give 1 tick. So 1 tick for muscular endurance. So we move on to the nootropic effects, elevation of mental focus, elevation in mood, increase in feeling of well-being. 3 effects that touch on this. Alpha GPC, 200 milligrams in combination with huperzine A, 50 micrograms in combination with the lion's mane mushroom, 75 milligrams. It is a very heavily mental focused nootropic blend. Not a whole lot going on for elevation of mood, feeling of well-being. From a mental focus perspective, 3 ingredients that really kind of drill that effect home. And then finally, the bonus round, the 6th effect, hydration. We're talking about the Rule 1 electrolyte blend, 500 milligrams, yielding potassium, sodium, chloride, and magnesium, 4 of the 5 most important electrolytes that we're looking to replace, because those are the ones we're losing through sweat. So we get a tick there as well. When we stack it up against the 6 effects, it's pretty much hitting 5. It's hitting 5 and then some. It's hitting 5 and a little bit. It's doing a very good job. Very comprehensive on paper. Also contains a full clinical dose, 5 milligrams of bioperin, another registered trademarked ingredient. Shit, man, like every ingredient's registered trademark in this Rule 1 preLIFT. Also contains juniper berry. I don't know what juniper berry is in here for. That's the one ingredient that I just couldn't kind of place, but it's in there nevertheless, so I have to answer it. What is it missing? It's a comprehensive pre-workout formula we've got here, viewers at home. If we're going to be picky, if we're going to play devil's advocate, and we like to do that in raw reviews, because I know a lot of brands watch these videos and sometimes they like to reformulate and take the advice and make improvements, which we're all for. From an energy perspective, it's very caffeine based, right? All of the stimulants, apart from theobromine, which is very similar to caffeine anyway, just a weaker version really. We're not hitting like some synephrine in there. We've got no English walnut. We've got none of those kind of more exotic stimulants. We're restricted with what we can use in Australia anyway, but we don't have anything that's really gonna deliver that hard hitting energy. When it comes to the boosting nitric oxide, muscle pumps, increasing nutrient delivery to working muscles, improving blood flow, we don't have any nitrates in here, which is a really nice addition because it boosts nitric oxide through a different pathway. It goes nitrates to nitrites to nitric oxide. We don't have any of that happening. We also don't have any ingredients that are going to prolong those muscle pumps. No agmatine in here, no norvaline in here to prolong those pumps. When it comes to the muscle power effect, which is really the gap in the formula, It'd be cool to see some creatine hydrochloride would be awesome. Creatine Magna Power. Some betaine in there would be great to see as well. Some elevated P, any kind of ingredient that's really like just in there for muscle power and strength would be really good to see. From an endurance perspective, stacked, really the only thing you could add would be like some Pico 2, some mushroom extract to boost out that endurance effect. From a elevation in mood, feeling of well-being, tyrosine, N-acetyl-tyrosine, some mucunapurians yielding some naturally occurring L-DOPA would be great to see. And then finally, from a hydration perspective, it does have all of those electrolytes. Would be nice to see some glycerol in there. Glycerol, of course, does notoriously cause clumping issues with pre-workouts, kind of comes with the territory, but that would definitely kind of boost the hyperhydration of muscles perspective. That being said, I mean, we're talking 18 ingredients here, viewers at home. 5 of them, I'm going to question that. I think there's more than 5, but at least 5 of them registered trademark. It is a completely stacked, comprehensive, ticks almost all the boxes pre-workout formula. In terms of how it tastes, how it mixes, wait for it. It comes in 8 flavors. 8 off the bat. We're talking about an acai berry flavor, which may be my personal tub that I may be pulling up from down behind the table in a couple of seconds. We're talking about a black cherry limeade. We've got a blue raspberry in the mix. We've got a fruit punch in the mix. We've got a mandarin mango in the mix. We've got orange pineapple. We've got snow cone and wild grape across the 8 flavors. 7 of those 8 flavors are fruit based. Really, the only one that's not is snow cone, which is kind of fruit inspired anyway. So they are very kind of fruit heavy based flavors. Infamous MJ's Taste and Mixability test about to go down. There it is. Acai berry, my personal tub. Got 10 ounces of water in here. For those of us using the metric system, which is most of the world, 300 mils. It's one of these American things. They're just holding on to the imperial, but not for everything. Only for things that don't really make sense. Okay, so first thing I must say, that's not a level scoop. We're gonna get a level scoop. So these scoops are pretty much bang on. So when the label says a scoop should weigh 15 grams, you measure off a level scoop that looks a little like that, and that's gonna get you your 15 grams. I'm gonna take one of these. I'm gonna throw it in my 10 ounces, 300 mils of water in my MJ shaker. A few flicks of the wrist. I'm gonna show you guys how it mixes. Refresh my memory on how the Rule 1 pre-lift tastes, man. When I say refresh, I trained on it this morning. So, and this flavor too, the acai berry. There we go. As you guys can see, a little bit of froth when you mix it in a shaker. I have actually done a little trial and just tried to like take a scoop and put it in a glass of water and just mix it. It mixes completely perfectly. That being said, it's a pre-workout. You're gonna wanna have at least that amount of water with it, if not more. I would go so far as to say turbo ball is required for the Rule 1 pre-lift. Check it. See what I mean when I say it mixes perfectly. Look at that. It's like a little, we've got like a little water fountain effect going on. It's like jumping out all over the table. Fantastic. Awesome. All right, let me refresh my memory on how the acai berry flavor tastes, man. Ah, it's good. Man, they've done a good job. They've done a really good job. I think Rule 1 are famous for their protein flavors. Like their protein flavors do not miss across all the proteins they do, across all the flavors they do, which makes it even more impressive that when it comes to non-protein products, aminos, pre-workout, so on and so forth, they're able to nail the fruit flavors as well. Like this acai berry, it actually tastes like I've got like a frozen acai bowl in my face. That's what it tastes like. It's like I've got the acai bowl in my face. It's good, man. It's good. Of the flavors I've tried, I haven't tried all 8 of them yet. They are all very, very good. I'm a big blue raspberry fan. I really like their blue raspberry in this particular product. That's got to be right up there for me. I am an acai berry, like frozen acai berry bowl fan as well. So I do really like the acai berry flavor. What else have I tried in here? The snow cone is really good. The grape is a fantastic grape inspired flavor. You guys know I don't get down with citrus, so I'm not a huge fan of the mandarin mango or the orange pineapple. What they should have done is they should have taken the mandarin and the orange, put those together and called that the citrus, and then they should have just removed the mango and the pineapple and put them together and called that the Joe flavor, because I would definitely get down with that. Just pluck away the citrus. Anyway, flavors are really good across the board. You guys will not be disappointed with any of them that you choose. In terms of the effects, so I've been training specifically, exclusively on the Rule 1 preLIFT for the last, say like 10 workouts. It's been a couple of weeks now, full scoop for each and every one of them, because I really wanted to give you guys a first-hand effect as to what I have experienced training on this pre-workout. Now, you guys know that's a big ask for me because I generally tap out at 300 milligrams of caffeine. So anything over 300, like the 330 you're getting in the full serve of this pre-lift, is kind of pushing it for me, pushing it right to the limit. The first thing that I will say is it does not feel like over 300 milligrams of caffeine. It is very smooth. It is very sustained. It comes on relatively quickly, but it lasts for a long period as well. And it doesn't drop you like a sack of shit, like 350 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous would. It's a very balanced stimulant formula, and it's a really nice elevation in energy. It's strong, don't get it twisted, like it's intense. If you're sensitive to caffeine, you probably want to start with half a scoop, but it doesn't feel like a ton of caffeine anhydrous. It is really quite a nice experience from an energy perspective. Muscle pumps are good. They're definitely nothing that I'd be like, oh man, the muscle pumps on that pre-workout are exceptional. They're definitely noticeable. I would say that they're pretty solid. Muscle power is pretty much non-existent, as we would expect, kind of looking at the formula and the ingredients. There's really nothing in there directly for muscle power. That's definitely the effect that this pre-workout is missing. You don't feel particularly strong training on it. You don't feel particularly powerful training on it. That being said, the muscular endurance effect is exceptional. Well, actually, before I even, but let me just back up real quick. There's something about the beta-alanine in this pre-workout that hits like beta-alanine I've never experienced before. It's almost like it says 3.2 grams, but it's almost like double that. Like the tingles, the ants under your skin, the like wanting to scratch the back of your head is intense. So for those of you who like that effect, you're gonna love it. For those of you who don't like that effect, you're not gonna love it. It's very intense and very pronounced. And then on the back end of that, the endurance is probably the standout effect of this pre-workout. It's one of those pre's where it's almost just like you don't fatigue. You can just keep training and training and training. Like I've had a few workouts on this where I've been training for like up to 2 hours and I just keep going. I'm just like, shit, I should probably leave the gym now and and go. But it's one of those pre's where it's enjoyable to train and you've got the muscular endurance that just wants to keep going and keep going. The mental focus is quite good. The elevation of mood, not so much. It's definitely not a pre-workout that like you take and you're like, ooh, like I'm, you know, I feel like $1 million. But you definitely do notice like the zoning in effect in combination with that sustained release caffeine is quite a nice effect to experience as well. And then finally, the hydration effect is not really something that you can kind of like touch and feel. I think that it really ties into the endurance effect more than anything else. And that's one of the reasons why I think the endurance on this pre-workout is so exceptional. It's that big dose of beta-alanine, the taurine, the synactive, and then the full spectrum electrolytes in there to help with that hydration as well. You just feel like you can just train for like hours, like days. like weeks, like years. I may still be in the gym right now. I don't even know. In terms of the side effects, the one thing that I would say, guys, is don't take it on an empty stomach. Just a ton of active ingredients in here. I think if you take it on an empty stomach, it's going to be a lot for your digestive system to just go like, boom, take some of that. It's definitely a pre-workout that I would take on, like, if not a full stomach, at least like have something in your stomach just to kind of slow down the absorption of all of the active ingredients. In terms of the stackability, it's going to stack best with stim-free pre-workouts. If you can find a stim-free pre that specifically focuses on strength and power, that would be the ideal match. But it's going to stack with, I mean, Rule 1 do the R1 pump, obviously designed to stack quite well and really boost that muscle pump effect more than anything else. The one thing from a stackability perspective that I would stay away from is don't stack it with any other stimulants. The way that they have kind of done the sustained release caffeine is really, really nice. I just wouldn't mess with it. I wouldn't throw any other stimulants in there because it's just going to mess with it, and it's probably going to mess with the mental focus effect as well. May even mess with the endurance effect. Just, it's good. Just don't mess with it. What does it compare to? I'm going to put it up against an Australian complete comprehensive pre and then an American, well, technically a Canadian. Technically, let's call it North American because it's a Canadian company, it's made in the US. Fully stacked pre-workout. From an Australian perspective, we're going to go up against Faction Labs Disorder Ultimate. And from a North American perspective, we're going to go up against Hostility V2. Let's start local, start in Australian shores. Faction Labs Disorder Ultimate. The energy on Disorder Ultimate is harder hitting and comes on faster, but it's not as smooth as what you're getting with the Rule 1 pre-lift. The pumps in Disorder Ultimate are slightly better, and I think that's got to do with the addition of the nitrates and the pump prolonging ingredient. They got Norvaline in there as well. The power on Disorder Ultimate is also better, and that's because they have some dedicated ingredients in there for muscle strength and power, and you do really feel those effects when you're training. The endurance on Disorder Ultimate is not as good as what you're getting with the Rule 1 pre-lift. That is really the effect where this pre-workout comes into its own. The focus and mood on Disorder Ultimate are both, in my opinion, slightly better than what you experience on the pre-lift. However, Disorder Ultimate has nothing for hydration, nothing at all, no electrolytes, no glycerol, nothing. Disorder has half the number of flavors in the Ultimate version, 4 flavors versus the 8 in the Rule 1 pre-lift. All of them are very good and all of them are also fruit-based, but there's half as many to choose from. And then finally, Disorder Ultimate is $10 more expensive for the same 30 full serves. So some things are better, some things are not as good. You pay a little bit more for Disorder Ultimate. Let's flip over to North America and see how it stacks up against the Hostility V2. The energy across both products, in my personal opinion, is very similar. Both caffeine based and both kind of sustained in their effect. The pumps in Hostility V2 are much better, primarily because of the addition of nitrates more than anything else, but the Hostility V2 pumps are exceptional. Hostility V2, the power is also much better. They've got multiple ingredients dedicated to strength and power, and you definitely notice those with the Hostility V2. The endurance across both, interestingly enough, is quite similar. Hostility V2 does not have beta-alanine, so it doesn't have the tingle effect, it doesn't have the ants in your pants effect, but the endurance across both is very similar. If I had to pick one that I think just wins out in endurance, I'd probably say the Rule 1 pre-lift still really kind of even beats the Hostility V2 when it comes to that endurance effect. The focus and mood across both are quite similar, but I probably err towards the V2 in terms of the balance of mental focus and elevation in mood, whereas the pre-lift is good for focus, but not so much mood. And then Hostility V2 has a little bit more in there for hydration. It's got the electrolytes, plus it's got some other bits and pieces in there to really help with hyperhydration. That being said, Hostility V2 only has 3 flavors compared to the 8 in the pre-lift. And I would say that the pre-lift flavors across the board are actually better than the flavors in the Hostility V2. All of that being said, Hostility V2, you pay more for it. You pay a lot more for it. It's $30 more expensive and it's got 10 less serves. So from a price and value for money perspective, value for money is always in the eye of the beholder, but from a price perspective, Hostility V2 is much more expensive. That's how the Rule 1 preLIFT stacks up. Who is it best for? Guys, look, I think anyone who's looking for a very comprehensive, very complete pre-workout that does muscular endurance exceptionally well, does everything else very well, misses the mark when it comes to strength and power. So if that's not too concerning to you, this is going to be a pre-workout you definitely want to check out. If endurance is important to you, this is going to be this is probably going to be the pre-workout that you really want to check out, because it really nails home that effect in combination with that nice, smooth, sustained energy, in combination with the muscle pumps and nutrient delivery, in combination with the elevation in mental focus, in combination with the hydration. Last but not least, in terms of price and value for money, 30 full serves with 30 full scoops for $79.95 in the Australian marketplace. I talk about price, I talk about value for money. When you break that out at a per serve, not per scoop, per serve price, it's gotta be one of the best value for money, complete pre-workout formulas in the Australian marketplace. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MJ Fitness YouTube channel. Stay up to date with all these new Raw reviews and everything else that we've got happening on the channel. Guys, that is MJ's Raw review on the Rule 1 preLIFT pre-workout. And I'm coming to you from mjfitness.au.